Abu Nurah's dropping this. Represent. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. When everybody sported thick laces, I switched mine to thin. Plus I stuck with the Pumas even when the Converse were in. But never mind the materialistic, my focus is on the mystic. To go along with the flow seemed to me too simplistic. Never studied Latin, but I hated the status quo. In the streets of Pico Union, sometimes you go toe to toe, so you gotta change tactics, but the strategy stays the same. Sometimes it was a war zone, but mostly the streets were tame, so I was able to study and develop the analytical skills unnecessary these days, or even critical. TV used to tell me to be all that I could be. I thank God that I didn't fall for the military, or else where would I be? But still following orders, killing brown people and violating their borders. I'd rather go to jail, but have it be my own decision. Too many have died while defending the corporate mission. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. Yo, I stuck with Atari when ColecoVision was hot. My mother couldn't afford it, so we were stuck with a dot. For a while, we only had combat cause it came in a box. And when we got tired of it, we'd go outside and throw rocks. My mother used to tell me that education was key. I knew that she believed in me, so I believed in me. Used to do homework 3 and 4 hours a day. Even my friends used to ask why I didn't come out and play. Some parents asked my mother why she pushed it so hard. They didn't realize that the little man had hard. I was self-motivated, thanks to God Almighty, plus a healthy dose of wanting to outsmart Whitey. I wasn't the smartest, it was mostly perspiration. When I got valedictorian, my mother got an ovation. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. Yo, where I grew up, son, you don't see a lot of diversity. My culture got shocked when I entered the university. Soon I realized people are mostly the same. You can't look at the color, you gotta study the game. I'll tell you who you are if you tell me what you believe. I had a few setbacks, but I never wanted to leave. Shared a room with a Russian, a Jew, and an Anglo-Saxon. You're listening to a Mexican, in case you were asking. Most of them had money, I had to send money home to help out my mother. She mostly did it alone. I had a healthy scholarship, but still I had beaucoup loans. Plus the credit card sharks did a little number on homes. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. Lyrics I drop without curses to make the beautiful speech. That way I keep it Islamic, plus the more people I reach. Rated E for everyone, but some may call it subversive. I got a rhyme on the run, so lyrics are written in cursive. Good for any arena, even for Sister Amina. She wouldn't say, oh shoot, even the day of Katrina. But most MCs think they gotta spice up the lyrics. If they keep it too clean, they're bound to upset the critics. Why is it you gotta curse to maintain credibility? It shouldn't really matter as long as you got ability. It's not a matter of style, it's a thing called taco. It's a must-have, even for a hard rock knocker. Fear of a law, even when I drop this raw, because he knows you did it even when nobody saw. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. It was way back in the day when I started to buck the trend. Could've sworn I was 11, but perhaps I was 10. Don't be a citizen. Don't be a citizen. Don't be a citizen. Abu Nurah's dropping this. Abdul Halim, Umar Jabril, Sumo Lex, North Fire Productions. Don't be a citizen.